What's going on, Soul Tribe? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and bringing a little nugget to add to the Soul Tribe archive. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Mercury in Leo in the 12th house. This is kind of a tricky one for Mercury to be in. Sidebar, I actually have this placement in Placidus, if you're working with that house system. But when you talk about Mercury, some of the themes that Mercury covers is that it's the bestower of just like of intelligence and forethought. Mercury brings about covers practical wisdom and understanding. Mercury can cover your knowledge. This is your communication. That's going to be another aspect that Mercury will just some rough themes that Mercury covers. And then you talk about Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun, and they are the fixed fire sign. They're active or yang in nature. And I find that when Leo finds that thing that lights them up, and I'm just talking about this energy in general, when they find something that lights them up, that is a part of their true calling, I mean, it's something else. It's something to marvel at. It brings about this, they really can embody the light of the sun and again bring about this sense of leadership, recognition, and they're the royals of the zodiac. But there is this thing about living as one's purest self-expression, that divine purpose, the great work that is being built. I find that Leo has a really strong calling for that. And then you talk about the 12th house. Now, this is a tricky house. This is considered in ancient astrology, this is known as the house of bad spirit. And I like to preface here too. I have my son here, so it's a house that it doesn't mean that you're doomed, but it is something that these themes are going to be more prevalent in your life. They're going to be things you're going to be more aware of, especially with Mercury there. But when you talk about some of the themes of this kind of bad spirit, this can cover enemies, but I find it's more so of those kind of inner demons that we wrestle with, that sort of internal critic that comes through to there. This can deal with great illnesses, misfortune, imprisonment. It can be suffering, sorrows, tribulations, toils, isolation, things along those lines. So just a real party. But I find that with the 12th house, all of these things lead to really great healers. I find that this leads to liberation. It's through these challenges and things that we learn how to cope through these experiences and how to grow through these experiences, because it's through the challenges where the real growth happens there. A lot of potential in those kind of even trying to trick your houses. But when we're working with this placement, some things to think about. You'd have a Virgo rising by whole sign, which Mercury's going to rule that, and your 10th house, which is your house of who you are, what you want to accomplish, what your public contributions to society. Those are going to be some of the themes. And also you're going to want to look to the sun, because the sun is going to control this house, or is going to be responsible for this house. And the nice thing about this between the sun and Mercury, that they're always really close with one another. Mercury's always within a sign or two of the sun going either way. So that's going to be something nice to do. But one thing that I would talk about with this person is, what is that inner dialogue looking like? Because I like to think of Leo too kind of like an oven. And what are you putting in that oven? Is it something that is keeping the body warm, that's supporting the spirit, that's going through, maybe when you're going through sometimes, how am I going to get through this? What do I need to learn? But coming on the other side, knowing that I can do these things, that I can overcome this stuff. I think having that good relationship with the body would be one thing, and just making sure, just again, what the thoughts are going to, maybe when you find yourself going through those times and just feeling maybe trapped in your mind, doing something where you're moving the body, doing some sort of earthly things, doing some, maybe going for a workout, maybe going for a walk, a hike. Have some time for yourself. Have a little activity, something that just kind of fuels your fire a little bit, that can help you get back on track when you notice yourself maybe getting stuck in a rut sometimes. Because I find that Leo, being one of the fixed signs, is that they can get stuck. And it gets feeling like that for a while. And that Mercury placement, that could get where you're running maybe a certain scenario through and through and through and through and through again. And that might even not just be what you do. As I find with 12th house things too, this is not just all the stuff you're receiving. Oh no, that would be too easy. This is going to be the stuff that's going on around in your relationships as well, and the things that you observe. And there may be a calling to want to help that. I find that Mercury in Leo could give a lot of itself, and a lot of its time, a lot of its services. So that's something to just pay attention to. But you may get recognized for that. You may become the wise one that people come to seek counsel because you get it, because you've been in the darkness and know how to find the light in that, and can pull people out of that. Get them in on a reset, or at least get them on a semblance of finding that hope again. So this could be a real beacon. I find this Mercury in Leo in the 12th house. I think that could do some really great work for a lot of people. And I'd be mindful too, just of how you maybe again be like, even criticize. That's even another thing to consider. Even thinking about, like, talk about how your growth versus others, because maybe you find yourself being able to overcome these things fairly easily, depending, maybe that sun placement, maybe you got the sun here too, and so you are able to learn from these things, but maybe others don't learn at the same clip. And that Virgo rising may be like, well, why don't you get it? Well, how come you can't seem to blah 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 blah, all I just got to do is put in this work. And that's going to help you too to learn a different level of empathy too, and how to help fuel other people's fires as well, that you can't maybe go in with a lot of heat. That maybe you got to start off a little warm first, start on a low cooker, and then increase the heat as we go up to kind of help the person along there. So it's going to be a whole little fun experience for you to explore that. But yeah, those would just be some very kind of general things that I would talk about. Of course, you need the whole chart to know what's going on with this chart. And I would love to hear if you have this placement or know someone who's working with this placement down in the comment section. Talk about how this manifested, how you've been able to overcome through these experiences, and what are some things that you're working on and things that you've noticed with this placement here. So those are just some things. And also, if you want to work with this stuff, get more familiar with your chart, maybe you want to track I'm doing this thing right now, I'm going through and like just been looking back at different returns and thinking about, it was just a whole little project, but I was thinking about a Mercury return. So maybe might be something, if you struggle with your Mercury replacement, tracking the Mercury returns and doing more kind of a thorough kind of mental analysis. That could be a neat little project to do. But if that's something where you want to look at what services I provide, down in the description box below, or in the description box, there's a link to get in touch with me, and we talk about all the services that I provide and all that good stuff, and then go from there. And then if you want to see what's going on in Celestial News Weekly on this channel as well, I release videos every Mercury day, funny enough, and that's on a Wednesday. And just talk about what the transits are going through. That way you can watch when maybe you have harmonious aspects, like we got Venus and Mercury going through Leo right now. Actually, they're hitting my Mercury placement as we speak. I'm going back now. They're about to go retrograde. So this is auspicious time for you. Maybe get some movement, maybe some new ways of thinking. I've been thinking a lot. So that's just something a little more to think about. But oh, and then last thing, if you want to work with the moon, down in the description box is a link for my other channel, The Chariot Friends, where I release videos every time the moon changes signs and talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, which is going void, of course. Do an I Ching reading and a tarot reading at the end, so you get all sorts of mysticism in there. So, but that's all I got for you. But until next time, stay mindful out there. Keep raising that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you on the next one later.